In December 1966, the body of Dr. J. Irving Bentley was discovered in his Pennsylvania home. Or, more accurately, part of Dr. Bentley was discovered, that being the remains of his leg and still slippered foot. The rest of his body burned to ashes. The hole in his bathroom floor was the only evidence of the fire that took him, and the rest of his house remained perfectly intact. How can a human catch fire without any apparent source of ignition? This case and many others are a part of a phenomenon known as spontaneous human combustion. This phenomenon has been documented since the 17th century. In some cases, the damage is slight, while in other cases, the body is reduced completely to ashes. Puzzlingly, in some of the stranger cases, objects on or around the victim are left completely unscathed by the raging inferno. Often, too, a complete hand, foot, or finger will be left completely untouched, such is the case of Dr. Bentley. Many theories for this phenomenon have been proposed, ranging from scientific to less than. However, there is no true explanation for how a human body could reach a temperature that would reduce it to ashes, a feat which is normally only caused by being in a pressurized crematorium with 3,000 plus temperatures. And of course, when you factor in the unscathed clothing and body parts, the inexplicable becomes downright spooky. In earlier times, victims of this fate were characterized as alcoholic, corpulent women who lived alone. The earliest known case is in 1673, where an elderly woman of the people was consumed by fire in Paris. She had been a heavy drinker to the point of not taking in any nourishment for 3 years. One evening, she went to sleep on a straw pallet and was evidently consumed by fire during the night. In the morning, only her head and the tips of her fingers remained. In 2011, a coroner was forced to conclude that Michael Faherty, an elderly Irishman living alone who had burned to death in December 2010, must have spontaneously combusted. Though Faherty's body was found close to an open, burning fireplace, the coroner deduced that this is not what set him on fire. However, this doesn't answer the question of what did set Faherty and all of the others on fire. But this still doesn't answer the question of how he and the others combusted. So let's take a look at some popular theories. This hypothesis suggests that a small external flame source, such as a burning cigarette, chars the victim's clothing, splitting the skin and releasing fat, which then mixes with the burnt clothing material, causing it to form a wick. This theory suggests that the combustion is not spontaneous at all, but it rather only appears that way. It also explains how the victim can be reduced to ashes while leaving the objects surrounding them untouched. It has been suggested that ketosis, which is when the body takes in energy from ketones instead of the normal glucose, produces acetone, which is highly flammable and therefore can lead to apparent spontaneous combustion. This condition can be caused by alcoholism or low carbohydrate dieting and is consistent with many of the observed cases. Last but not least, there is an admittedly pseudoscientific theory proposed by Larry E. Arnold in his 1995 book, Ablaze. This book hypothesizes the existence of a new subatomic particle that he calls a pyrotron. Arnold also wrote that the flammability of the human body could be increased by factors such as alcoholism, and in some cases, extreme stress could be the trigger that causes combustion. He says that this process could use no external oxygen as it is not an oxygen-reductive reaction. However, he fails to list exactly what type of reaction it is, therefore making his theory moot.